Whew. Hey. Whew. How are we? Let's give it a moment as we get ourselves ready. Let me know how you are today. Welcome, welcome. Let me know who's here. I'm just having a quick coffee moment. Let's had some. How are we? Gosh, I look like I've been dragged through a hedge, don't I? How are we? Who's here today? Let me know. It's lovely to have you with me. This is day 2 of The Changing Woman. Why pushing through no longer works. We are going to uncover some real magic today. There's going to be some big mindset changes today. Big mindset changes, okay, as we go through what's going on today, what's going on in the body. And also let me know any kind of aha moments that you had from yesterday as well. Yesterday was a big day. Learning about why the brain has changed so much, which has had such a huge effect on the body. Why these things have happened. I mean, this is huge stuff. Okay, let's not take this lightly. Let's not just go, oh yeah, kind of all right, so it's the menopause, and this is big stuff, and you're learning new stuff, and you're accepting new things and experiencing new things. And so really feel into them and love the changes as they happen. Love the learning, love the new thoughts, love the new thought process. When we courageously step forward, when we courageously accept these changes and look at them in a new light, this is really big stuff. So let's not take it lightly. Let's embrace where we are and how we're changing and what's going on with us. So today, why pushing through no longer works. And if you are here on the replay as well, let me know that you're on the replay. If you're having any problems leaving comments, then let me know. I had a look on one of the replays and it said that they were disenabled, but I thought I'd enabled them. So please do let me know one way or another. Maybe message me on Instagram or via email or something. Let me know. All right, let us get ourselves settled and in and ready to go today. Little coffee time. It's a funny whole day here in the UK. We had this massive storm yesterday, and there were all these threats about how bad it was going to be, etc. And I work in schools, so we were going to have 4 centimeters of snow or whatever. So I kind of was ready for a snow day today, and because I work in schools, and a lot of the teachers that I work with were also ready for a snow day. And we woke up to just rain, not a glimmer of snow. So I've been in school this morning with a lot of little children who also were expecting snow, and it never came. So that's where we are today. Okay, we're going to tune ourselves in with Om Namo Gurudev Namo as well. So let's get ourselves grounded. Let's arrive here. Take a moment to close down your eyes and take a breath. And again, I honor you for showing up, for being here today. You've done the hard thing. You've switched on. You've decided to be here today. Close down the eyes. And let's take some deep breaths all the way down into the base of the spine. And then bring your hands together at your heart center, rub your palms, and place your hands together. And let's take a deep breath in to chant, breathing in deeply. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deeply. Hold the breath. Squeeze the root lock, so pull up the muscles of the pelvic floor, pull your navel in and up. And breathe out. Take both arms up to the sky, have a lovely stretch. Bring one hand down to the earth. We're going to lean over, making some space. Relieving tension, and the other way, over we go. And coming back to the center, bring both arms up to the sky and lift. And coming forward, bring your hands down, reaching forward. I'm a bit close to you. And coming up. Okay, so you might want pen and paper today. There's a lot to take in. So yesterday we learned about why we get the brain fog, the anxiety, etc. And it's the brain receptors of estrogen and progesterone that just aren't receiving what they require anymore. And they create the dopamine and the serotonin. And of course, that's not happening anymore. So that's why we feel a lot more anxiety, a lot of brain fog, can't multitask like we used to. And that's why those things are happening. Not because anything's broken, not because anything's failing. It's just a process. And how we're actually now coming into the time where it's about our truth. It's about our wisdom. We're not living, it's not all about output. It's about our truth. Okay? This is where we're at now. So, and also the three phases of the woman, of womanhood, about the maiden, the mother, and coming into the elder and the wise woman. So I just want you to have some thought, and I'd love it if you put it in the comments, or you can just jot it down. But finish this sentence. I keep pushing through even when ... I keep pushing through even when I'm tired. I keep pushing through even when it's not my responsibility. I keep pushing through even when I have no time. Yeah, so finish that sentence. I keep pushing through even when... Over to you. Just having that awareness. I know I keep pushing through, even when my body's telling me no, or my mind is telling me no, to just stop and slow and take a breath. I know that I am terrible for keep pushing through, and even when it makes me grumpy for my family, makes me not a nice person. And we're going to learn today about how our body is asking for more of a partnership. It's not asking for more discipline. It's asking for more of a partnership. Okay, let me get my notes up. So I want to share with you today about how stress affects the body and why we're more prone to stress when we are going through the menopause. When we're stressed, it overworks your adrenal glands and it causes the stress hormones to imbalance. So that's like your cortisol, your adrenaline, which then turns into cortisol, and we can run on cortisol for far too long, but we will come into that. And when that happens, it disrupts the menopause. So remember that the menopause is a process your body needs to go through. So wherever you're at, if you're 35 or over, you're already starting to become perimenopausal. Okay, things are starting to change. The estrogen is starting to drop already. So it doesn't matter where you're at. This process is a process your body needs to go through. So if you have a rise in cortisol, which is the stress hormone, remember adrenaline, okay, when we're running on adrenaline, that then turns into cortisol, okay? And the stress this stress hormone creates an imbalance in menopause, which then causes exhaustion, brain fog, weight gain, and mood swings. So it is more important that we are managing our stress levels at this point in our life. Okay, much more important. We can't push through like we used to. We can't live with this stress hormone like we used to, because it's going to cause an imbalance in the menopause, and our body has to go through this. So when we're running too much on the stress hormone, it can show itself as adrenal fatigue, or as it's better known as burnout, where the adrenals struggle to produce what sex hormones they can, so estrogen and progesterone. Okay, we're going to struggle to produce even the slightest amount when we're stressed. It worsens the menopause symptoms. You may start to feel wired but tired. There's a saying you'll hear. Okay, you may feel wired and tired, states with high cortisol. You must manage your stress levels during menopause, and by your own practice of stress reduction. So that can be meditation, yoga, it can be your sleep hygiene, you can use your healthy diet, and this way you will gracefully glide through menopause, even if you are a bit sweaty. Okay, so even with those hot flushes, you can still glide through it if you manage your stress. This is why you can't keep pushing through like you used to. You don't want to be wired and tired. You need to enable your body to be able to heal itself. And just to reiterate, that is by doing things such as your meditation, your yoga, being able to sleep, using your good sleep routine, good sleep hygiene. And this is something we touch on. I'm going to be telling you tomorrow about the Radiant Woman, which is my 6-week program. And there is a whole section on, there is a whole handout on sleep hygiene. Okay, you're going to use your healthy diet to enable you to gracefully move through this process. So in short, if you are stressed and going through menopause, it is going to be even trickier than before. So you can't push through like you used to in your 20s and 30s. Willpower is a whole different thing. I want to talk to you a little bit about willpower. Willpower is very different to how it used to be in our younger years. It doesn't work as well during midlife, but it's not due to a lack of discipline. It's because you're going through physiological, hormonal, and metabolic shifts that make our old habits ineffective or counterproductive. During perimenopause and menopause, you become more sensitive to stress and less able to cope when tired, which results in this huge kind of biological plot twist, I suppose. The body starts working against your old habits. Okay, so this is why hormones or hormonal chaos, I don't want to call it chaos, hormonal changes start to sabotage your willpower. So we know we've got declining estrogen. Okay, we know that. Lower estrogen levels disrupts your metabolism, which will lead to higher cortisol sensitivity. So it reduces your muscle mass, and all of which will trigger increased fat storage, especially around the tummy. Got the menopause tummy myself. I do an awful lot of core work every day in my yoga practice, and yet I still have my menopause tummy. And that's why lower estrogen is already disrupting your metabolism, which means you don't have as much muscle as you used to have. So it means that we're not burning calories when we're asleep, which would be lovely, wouldn't it? Because the more muscles you have, the more that happens. So you also have higher cortisol sensitivity as well. So that sensitivity in your body, when you were in your 20s, you could easily just deal with it and work with it. Not anymore. Okay, it has this knock-on effect of really affecting your metabolism. You have reduced insulin sensitivity. So your cells become less responsive to insulin as estrogen drops, which makes it harder to lose weight and easier to gain weight, even if your diet is consistent. Okay, so there's no point getting stressed and worried about that we're finding it harder to lose weight. It's part of the biological process. Okay. Dysregulated hunger hormones, decreased estrogen and progesterone affect neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, as we mentioned yesterday, and this reduces your motivation, increasing cravings for comfort foods. Okay, so your motivation dropping, you can't push through, because actually what's naturally happening to you now is your motivation isn't dropping. Okay, so don't be hard on yourself about it. Higher cortisol, when you've got this stress hormone in your body. So think of everything else that may be going on in your life right now. Midlife has a lot of high stress. There are career changes that may happen, or maybe you reconsider your career at this point in life. There's family stuff going on now. Your children may be grown up and leaving home, going to university, or they're starting to go through their own adult stuff, which doesn't take away you as a parent still wanting to parent them and be there for them. But now your stresses are harder and tougher with them because you have no control now. Okay, it's all on them. That's hard as a parent. Perhaps your personal relationships change when we get to midlife. There's huge amounts of divorce rate when we get to midlife, because two people growing up together, maybe they got together in their 20s or 30s, and now they're in their 50s and their lives are changing. Maybe they're changing in different ways. You're going in different directions. Not everyone is designed to live their entire life together. So maybe you're going off in different directions. So relationship things may change. Maybe you've got aging parents that you're having to care for and having to think about what happens to them now. So do you see what I mean? That our stresses now at midlife, we had stresses when we were younger, but we could cope with it differently. Now in midlife, we can't cope with them as well. And our stresses have changed. Okay, now we have big things to think about that we weren't prepared for. You have all the support in the world when you're a new parent, when you've just left university and you're making career choices. You have all the support in the world from your parents and your friends. In midlife, suddenly you're meant to do it all on your own. Okay, it's very different. So this keeps our cortisol levels quite high. This signals our body to then store fat for survival. It might increase your hunger, and it makes it nearly impossible to will yourself out of cravings. Okay, so all these things are happening if we're trying to push through, if we're keeping ourselves at this high stress level. Physical changes also during menopause shift the goalposts. I said there's a lot to take in today, awful lot to take in. So let's just let that sit for a moment. Our stress cortisol levels have a huge effect on our body. Hello? Oh, hello. I'm just live on YouTube. All right, babe. My son home from work. So physical changes now shift. Muscle loss. I mentioned before about the lack of estrogen, which creates less muscle mass. It declines by 3 to 8% every decade after the age of 30, a process that accelerates in your menopause. And less muscle means slow metabolism, which reduces your calories burning while resting. Okay. Poorer sleep quality. Declining hormones cause night sweats, insomnia. This in turn might spike your cortisol and again trigger cravings for sugar, carbohydrates, things like that when you're tired the next day. Anabolic resistance. Midlife muscles are less responsive to training, making it harder to build muscle and easier to lose it. So what I'm just trying to get through is that all of these physical changes are way beyond our control, and being stressed about them and worried about them and is never going to move us forward in a healthy way. The changing woman accepts that these things are happening, and we're going to move into a bit how we can cope with these in a really healthy way. The reasons our old habits and routines don't work now, this is why we can't push through. Over-exercising, so like doing HIIT training, high-intensity training, or excessive cardio, which may have worked before, now increases stress on the midlife body, which leads to more inflammation, fat retention, and exhaustion. We have to accept we are not who we were when we were 20 or 30. Our exercise routine now needs to adjust. Skipping meals like we used to do when we were younger, or like doing the I don't want to use the word starvation, that's not right, when we used to fast and things. Restrictive eating triggers the body's starvation response, slowing your metabolism, further and increasing your food preoccupation. So we're going to be thinking about food so much more. Again, something we could do when we were younger. It's not going to work now. Now it's good to eat regularly and smaller meals and not late at night. There's also environmental factors. So we can have decision overload. Just as I mentioned, midlife often brings many, many more other things to think about, leading to decision fatigue, which drains your willpower. Okay, if we've got lots of things to do, it's like, I don't want to make decisions today. I used to do it when I was little. I don't want to make decisions today. I'm tired of adulting now. Tired of adulting. It's okay. We're losing the reward signal. We've got lower dopamine levels now, so we don't get that reward high that we used to get before. It doesn't receive the same reward for our healthy behavior, which again will reduce your motivation. So instead of pushing harder, it's recommended that once we get into menopause with the changing body, we can do this through gentle strength training to combat any muscle loss. Certainly yoga is great for that. Any kind of vinyasa yoga or ashtanga yoga is great. Anything that's going to help with strength. Yoga for the mind and body coherence is perfect. Prioritizing, protein in your diet, more protein. Managing your stress, which will lower your cortisol, and improving your sleep. Rest does not mean weakness. It is regulation. Okay? Rest does not mean weakness. It's regulation. So this is how, instead of pushing through, we want gentle strength training. We want yoga and meditation to keep that body and mind in sync. We want better sleep habits. We want good food regularly. Why does rest work so well? It's nervous system regulation. It acts as a tool to shift the body out of survival mode and into its state of safety. It will calm the nervous system, which will lessen the stress hormone of cortisol. And of course, too much cortisol means weight gain, no sleep, etc., etc. So rest. It's also a biological necessity. Rest allows the brain and body to restore emotional balance. It will lower those stress hormones like cortisol, and it will repair any physical tissues. This takes a bit longer to heal these days. So rest. Productivity and performance are improved. Instead of being lazy, intentional rest is a strategy that enhances long-term performance, strengthens your mental focus, and prevents burnout. I'm going to repeat all of that for you. Instead of being lazy, intentional rest is a strategy that enhances long-term performance, strengthens your mental focus, and prevents burnout. And regular intentional breaks, rather than waiting for when you are completely exhausted, helps you build resilience, allowing for better emotional control and stability. So intentional rest is not a luxury. It is an absolute necessity for you to cope with this change in your life, with the demands that are coming, that is put on you every day. The feeling of being different in your body, rest and acceptance, and you start to gain control again. Essentially, seeing rest as regulation rather than a weakness shifts the focus from pushing through to recharging to maintain, which is essential for long-term health and productivity. We're no longer pushing through, we are recharging to maintain. So, brilliant. Yes, I'm back. So we do push through. Yeah. Tired of pushing through. I'm guilty of pushing through, even though when I know I shouldn't. We do that so much, don't we? Thank you, Amanda. And yeah, we do get tired of adulting. It's fine. I love that word. So your body is asking for a partnership, not discipline. Okay. Partnership with your body now. Resting is so important. And we're going to bring more rest in. So let's just do a little breath practice as well to help us recharge today. So there's a couple of breaths. The vagus nerve is the wonderful magical nerve that, when stimulated, kicks our parasympathetic nervous system into action. And the parasympathetic nervous system is the one that we want to help us rest, to help us calm. So we're just going to be still for a moment. The vagus nerve is stimulated on an out breath. So we're going to inhale for the count of 4, exhale through the count of 6. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. So let's just have a tall spine. And we're going to inhale through the nose for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the mouth for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And rest for a moment. In fact, no, don't rest. Just carry on alone without me counting you through so that I can do it with you. And as we're doing these practices, just being aware of times when our mind kicks in and wants us to be doing something. It might be like, well, we should be doing something else, or we're too busy to be doing this, to be stopping. Remember, by resting, we become so much more productive. I'm going to share another really powerful breath with you as well. And this is the 8-1. But you breathe in through 8 parts through the nose. And then breathe out in one long out breath through the mouth. So it's as if you've separated your lungs into 8 equal parts and you fill them up. This is a really good, strong breath to do just before going to sleep at night. It really kicks the parasympathetic nervous system into touch and really relaxes and calms the system, calms the body. All right, just bring yourself round that breath up. Just take a moment to notice how you're feeling, how just a few moments of breath work, you're doing magical things to your system, to your body, helping you rest. Great to do these in the middle of the day. No pushing through anymore. We rest. We breathe. Not only makes us a better person to ourselves, it makes us better for everybody else too. Always a joy. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of radiance enhancer. So, breath of fire, a powerful breath in and out through the nose. As you breathe out, you powerfully bring your navel in and up, which pushes the breath out through the nose. And then as you relax your tummy, so the breath will come back in. You're going to bring your fingertips into your finger pads, and you're going to have your thumbs coming away, and you're going to lift your arms up to about 60 degrees. We're going to close the eyes and focus at the third eye point. And from here, begin breath of fire. And inhale deeply. Connect the thumbs together over the head and straighten your fingers to the sky. Hold the breath. Lifting, lifting, lifting. And then as you exhale, draw a big circle of light around you and just allow them hands to rest next to you. I'm sitting on the floor, so I'm able to re-ground, but if not, you could just pop your hands on your thighs. Just let yourself be still. Just notice what you notice. Notice how that practice alone just really oxygenates the blood. It gets a bit of energy into the brain. Just notice what you notice. Notice what's changed for you. Just that 2 minutes of rest, recharging to maintain. No longer pushing through. Tomorrow we dive quite deep into body wisdom and why this time is so precious and so valuable, and you'll really start to rethink. I think the menopause has been badly marketed by men, probably, and media. It's very different. Okay, we're going to do a little heart opening movement now. You can do it sitting or standing. I want to do it standing, which means I'm probably going to have to move you back a little bit so that I can have some space and still be slightly on camera. So if you've got a sofa sit, you're going to want a bit of space around you for this as well. Oh, completely out of shot, Jojo. Right, okay. How far back can I go? Okay, so let me just show you. So this breath practice, I'll do it on my knees and then I'll start to. You breathe in 3 parts. So you breathe in, the arms come up in front, breathing in. Then you breathe in to the side, then you breathe in up, and then you Let it all go on an out breath with a lovely forward fold, a really kind of like, let it go forward fold. So it's breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, and letting it go. Okay, so I'm going to stand up so my head will be out of shot, but you know what we're doing. So breathing in through the nose, breathing in through the nose, breathing in through the nose, breathing out, let it go through the mouth with a sigh, with sound. In and really opening up the heart, but also you're charging up the aura. So creating space and openness and relieving tension and stress from the body. And next one, you're going to stay up, hold the arms up, breathing in deeply. Breathing out, slowly lower the arms. And just take a moment, just notice what you notice. Just stand here majestically, feet grounding down. Close your eyes. And then we're going to come back down to sit. Let me know how you feel after that. How a little effort can create some real change. Bring one hand onto your heart when you're ready, and one hand onto your belly. And just feel the areas underneath the hands. Closing your eyes, and just some real self-love. Letting your nervous system know that you're safe. Let stillness come. And whilst we're here in this stillness, I've got a couple of questions. I just want them to run around in your mind. Where do you still expect yourself to push? And what would soften if you didn't? So where do you still expect yourself to push? But what do you think will happen if you don't push? And I would love it if you shared in the comments so that we can support each other. Thank you, Amanda. Yes, work is one of the places where we do push. But just think about what would soften if we didn't, if we allowed things to flow. If we took the pressure off. And comparison is often one of the big things that we do. We compare, certainly us yoga teachers, we're always watching other teachers, knowing how, we want to be like them, do it the way they're doing it. But if we walk our own path, at our own pace, where we are right now, with today's energy, because today's energy will be different to tomorrow's energy. And tomorrow, in the Changing Woman, we're going to be really learning how to listen to the body and channeling into the body's wisdom. Okay, you can just rest our hands now. So the main thing I want you to take away from today about why pushing through no longer works now, because we are not who we were in our 20s and 30s. Our body is not wired to be doing what we were doing in our 20s and 30s. It's not going to be the same. We're just going to create more stress hormones because our body is not designed to do that anymore. Our body doesn't cope with cortisol as well. That's why the weight gain happens. That's why the sleep is messed up, for want of a better word. So it's okay for us to change and for us to reevaluate and to not push through, whether it's to do with work or anything else. We always want to be great at our job. We want to work hard. Maybe we push through with things with the family. Sometimes I get obsessed with the house being clean and tidy when actually I've also got other things I want to do instead, and I'm tired and I really need to rest. I came home from my morning classes this morning in school, and before I did this, I had to sleep for half an hour because I needed it. And I appreciate that not everyone has that freedom to do that. So I'm very lucky in those respects, but I do honor that that's what I needed to be here to deliver this today. So yeah, take it. Remember that rest. We rest to maintain. We rest so that we can be the best person we can. We rest so that we can do our job really well. We rest so that we can keep up with the business, so that we can be there for our children, so that we can be there for our partner or for our friends or for our aging parents. We rest so that our nervous system is toned and supported, and we don't have all the stress hormones in our bodies, so that we are calm and we are healthy, and our body can go through the menopause at the rate and the pace that it needs to go at. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up for today. Thank you so much for being on here live with me. Amanda, thank you again for your input. It's really, really valuable. And like I say, that I'm so grateful, so grateful. Thank you. Thank you for everybody watching on the replays as well. Please do reach out to me. Please do comment. I want to know what you're struggling with and what you need support with, so that I can provide it correctly. But for now, we'll be back tomorrow at the same time at 2:00 UK time. And tomorrow we are looking into what changes when you truly begin to listen. Thank you again, my darling. Thank you everyone for being here. Lots and lots of love, and see you tomorrow.